Welcome to today Sunday market map plus tutorial for high probability trade setup this week. I'll be very straight in explaining what the market will likely do this week and very clear in the market direction using top-down analysis. So let's begin. So I'll be starting off with BTC just to warm up. So BTC on the weekly time frame, you can see that we are bearish on the weekly time frame. Okay, and price is reacting off of this resistance zone over here. Okay, so if we move down to the daily time frame, I was hoping sellers will hold the price here to continue the sell momentum of the weekly time frame, but price broke here. Now on this time frame we are now bullish. Okay, we are now bullish on this time frame. This is the higher high and this is the higher low. Okay, and if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour is also bullish. It's also bullish. You see, this is the higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So unless if this candle should close like this, then it will now turn bearish. Okay, so but right now we are bullish on the 4-hour. So and even if I want to be interested in taking this trade, I'll still want this daily time frame to turn bearish. And for this daily time frame to turn bearish, it's either going to be two things. Okay, it's either you do something like this, bullish, you turn bearish like this, you test here, then that's when I'll sell. Okay, or price will break here, break this low, then come down, then retest here before I will sell. So that is a very long way to go. So you just part of my watch list. I just observe it to know what the structure is doing and to be in sync. Okay, so that is what I see on BTC. So moving on to Almighty XAUSD, which is gold. So on the weekly time frame, last week I was looking to continue the sell on the daily time frame, but the daily time frame, like I explained, it was not that clear. But this week we now have this bullish candle. Okay, so right now the weekly time frame now is bullish. Okay, so go down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is also bullish. Okay, daily time frame is also bullish. Is the higher high, higher low. Okay, so ideally, if I want to wait for the daily time frame, I don't think the pullback will happen this week. I'll need to wait for the pullback here to have the push to the upside. Why? Because if we check this zone on the daily time frame, this is the only place that have valid area of interest. You get, this is 1 rejection used as resistance, this is 2 used as support. So if we come to the recent price action, this is the 3rd one. So this is the place I'll be interested in taking the trade to the upside. Okay, so these 2 zones here are just the minor for our zones. So right now they are not that visible. They're not that visible on the daily time frame. Okay, but if we go down to the 4-hour, you see that they are visible on the 4-hour time frame. The reason why I mark this zone is that this is gold, so gold can still have the push to the downside. Okay, and also they can still react off of this 4-hour zone. So if we check the 4-hour very well, this is a very strong zone. Get user supports. Okay, so use it as support over here, so use it as support over here, and this is the second zone also, so it's a very strong zone. Okay, so if I have a clean, more like a clean retest here, clean rejection here, then can just take on for the day, just for a day trade. Either will come to this place, reject, then we have the push. Okay, or if that place cannot hold, once you come here, give rejection, then you have the push to the upside. Okay, so that is my bias on gold for next week. So moving on to the currency pair. So the currency pair, we have GBP JPY. So GBP JPY on the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame, we are bearish on the weekly time frame. This was part of my pair, the pair I analyzed last week. That's part of my watch list. So the weekly time frame, we are bearish, is the lower low, lower high. So last week created a pin bar, more like a bullish hammer. Okay, so and no clean structure here and no clean area of interest here. But if we go down to the daily time frame, you see that pin bar is actually a clear pullback to an area of interest. Okay, because you see we've not approached this zone now. Whenever we are above this zone, we use our support. Whenever we are under, we use our resistance. So price is likely to repeat what it have done here in the past. Okay, so what I'm actually looking for here is shift of structure on the lower time frame to just take the trade to the downside. The 4-hour also is bearish, and the 4-hour has approached the zone also. So if we go down to the 2-hour, get 2-hour, we are bullish. 2-hour have not shifted structure. 1-hour, 1-hour also have not shifted structure. So this is the higher high, this is the higher low. So 30 minutes, so 30 minutes have shifted structure. Okay, so now we've had the pullback to this zone over here. But if I want to take this trade now, I want it to break and retest here if I'll be interested in this trade. Something like this. You break retest if I'll be interested to sell. For a quick 1:2. Okay, so very simple. No need to stress over the market. So the next pair is also JPY pair, which is AUD JPY. So it's more like the same thing, but this one has more clear pattern because we have double top here. Price broke the neckline of the double top, come back to retest it, but on this weekly time frame, we don't have a strong area of interest, just to rejection. But on daily time frame, we have a clear rejection. We have 1, 2, and this is the third one, 3, 4. So price have retraced back to this place. Also the daily time frame. The daily time frame is bullish. Okay, the daily time frame is bullish. I like this I like this more. So we'll go down to the 2 hour time frame is also bullish, higher high, higher low. So 1 hour, go down to the 1 hour. 1 hour also is pretty bullish. Come down to the 30 minutes. 30 minutes also is still bullish. Okay. So if I want to be interested in this trade, okay, this is zone. This is where to shift structure. If I want to be interested in this zone, so I'll wait for it here. I like to break and retest this zone here. Yet break this zone, test, and then I'll be interested in selling. Or if the price can still go further to something like this is still bullish, then shifted structure, then come back to retest here, and I'll still be interested in the trade. Okay, so that is my bias on the AUD So moving on to GBP/NZD. So GBP/NZD on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we are bullish on the weekly time frame. We see this is the higher high and this is the higher low. Okay, but price is below this zone here. Okay, and if you check here, there is no other zone here. You just have one structure here, and we have another one here. Okay, and if price does not respect this zone, so continue pushing the trade to the upside, and it's likely to come to this place to push the trade to the upside. Okay, so now go down to the daily time frame. See that the daily time frame is bearish. Okay, so for me to be interested to sell this trade now, I'll wait for this to come to this place, retest here. So more like a head and shoulder. Get so left head, shoulder to have the break. So once we have the retest of this zone, so I'll be interested in taking the trades to the downside. Also, something to note, when the 4 hour want to have the retracement to this zone, it will turn bullish, which is exactly what I've done here. Get, but the only thing that will make me to be interested in taking this trade is when the 4 hour turn bearish. So the 4 hour must do something like this. Once we have something like this, bullish, turn bearish here. Okay, turn bearish on this pullback. This is when I'll be interested in taking the trades to the downside. If the 4 hour does not turn bearish, I will not be interested in the trade. Get, it might happen, it might not happen. So that is what I want the market to do before I'll be interested in taking the trade. Get, so very simple and clear. Nothing to stress about. Get, so if we go down to the next pair now, which is Euro CHF. So Euro CHF is a very interesting trade because we've been early this year, we've been bearish early this year, but last week candle shifted the structure, so now we are now bullish. So this is the higher high, this is the higher low. Okay, so now we are above this strong area of interest here. We are above this zone. So if we go down to the daily time frame, see that the daily time frame is bullish, and the daily time frame is retracing back to this area of interest. See, this is a very strong area of interest. If you look to the left hand side, it's a very strong area of interest. Okay, so whenever we're up, we use it as support. Get whenever we're up, we use it as support. So it's a very strong area of interest. So now prices are broken above it. See, prices are broken above it. It's coming back to retest it. Okay, so we'll now have a quick buy. Also, the 4-hour time frame is also bullish. So if price to come down here more little, come down here, give me shifter structure on the lower time frame, then I'll take the trade to the upside. Just a quick 1:2. This is a very good trade. Okay, so moving on to the next pair, we have NZD-USD. So NZD-USD is an interesting trade. You get an interesting trade in the sense that we are bearish on the weekly time frame, and last week created a doji candle. You get, meaning price stopped here, and for that price to stop there now, we were bullish. It was a higher high, higher low, but on this minor structure here, we shifted bearish. We shifted bearish. So this is how the structure looked. It was higher high, higher low, higher high. This bearish candle closed below here, so we now became lower low, and this bullish candle did not body close above here, so it just weak. So whatever happened here, we are still bearish. Okay, unless if this candle should body close, if any candle should body close below here, we'll continue the bearish structure. So if this one body close above, then it will not be bullish. Okay, so right now we are bearish on the daily time frame. Okay, we are bearish on the daily time frame, which is a good thing. And but if you look to the left hand side, you see that this zone, whenever price approach it, normally have multiple candle rejection before have the move. Get, this is one happen here, took a loss over there. This is two, this is three, also took a loss over here. Get, they have multiple candle rejection. This is another one. Okay, before we have the move. So if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is bullish, so indicating that it is consolidating here. Okay, price is consolidating here. So for me to be interested in this trade, get, price will break below this zone, this consolidation zone. Get, it's still almost the same thing with this area of interest. So once price break it, more like retest this zone, then I'll be interested in taking the trade to the downside. So this is more like a, if I just use a box and box it, you see that is the consolidation zone. So it's still a good thing, indicating that price has stopped here. Okay, so we have more just two liquidity grab. So if we have the push, more like the retest of the zone, then I'll now have the set the trades to the downside. Okay, so if we move down again, we have USD card. So USD card is one of the best structure I've seen so far since the last 3 months. The weekly time frame, a clean break, come back to retest it. Last week price was here. This is the weekly time frame. Price was here, so, and I needed it to come down here. That was when I drew it during my weekly analysis. Okay, so this is a very strong zone. Get, we move to the left hand side, is a very strong zone. So, and If we go down to the daily time frame again, daily time frame was also bullish, but price was somewhere here. Price was here, so I still needed it to come down here to give me a push to the upside. You get give me rejection here before I'll be interested in taking the trade to the upside. Okay, but what do you see right now? This candle has body close below here, so it has invalidated this sweet setup. Okay, it has invalidated it. Yes, that's small thing now. You see, this was the higher high, this was the higher low. So this Friday candle that body closed there now shifted this to bearish. So now daily time frame now is now bearish. This is the lower low and this is the lower high. So for me to be interested in this trade, I need it to shift bullish before I'll be interested in taking this trade. And this should shift bullish, so something like this, and I don't think that will happen this week. Once we shift to bullish, we'll come back to the test here again before we now take this trade to the upside. That's not happening this week. So if we go down to the daily time frame is bearish. Okay, so I just added it here to show you guys what I really mean about waiting for the market on your zone. You don't need to have pressure or to force any trade. Just be patience. Patience is the key in trading. Okay, so that is that. Nothing much. And on the forex pair this week is 1 2 3 4 5 6, just 6 pair. So if I want to, this one is not really among, but it's just here. So let me just move it so that will be clear. Okay, I just use it as a little tutorial. So if I want to group it now, which one is closer to entry? This is closer to entry. This is also closer to entry. GPNZD, we are not close. We still have need the retest. This one too is closer, so I'll shift this up. And then the USD, we are closer. Okay, we're still closer and closer. So those are the pairs for this week. So see you guys in the next video, and make sure you relax and watch the video. There's a lot of good lessons that you can learn from all the video I drop. Also, if you know you are learning break and retest strategy, that is the only thing that will make you to understand my videos, and it doesn't matter if it's break and retest also. Okay, so the more important thing is structure. So once you understand where the market is going, you are one step ahead with it. Once you understand market structure, you're one step ahead. Okay, so that is that, and see you guys in the next video.